Sporadic Retail Inflation, and will be delivered by Andrew and Emma Collier.
So, sporadic retail inflation, that sounds pretty boring, doesn't it? Why don't we talk about something more interesting?
Have you noticed that at specific times of the year, like around Mother's Day or Valentine's Day, the prices of things seem to get really crazy? And have you felt a little bit ripped off when buying that overpriced box of chocolates or bouquet of flowers? And I bet you've wondered how much are these prices really being inflated?
Yeah, of course you have. But it's always been kind of a suspicion, right? You've never had hard data to back this up. Well, now you do. So, it would be great if we had current retail pricing data. So how much are goods selling for right now? That's pretty easy to come by. But what would be much more interesting for this kind of study is historical pricing data, right? So how much were these goods some time ago? So we are able to put the current prices into their historical context. Now, this kind of data is a lot more difficult to come by.
Like hen's teeth. So we gathered some data.
And we wrapped it up in an API.
Because I'm told that's what all the cool kids do.
And this is what our API looks like right now. You can see they're just a handful of endpoints. Basically, you can access information on a selection of retailers, the products that those retailers are selling, and then the price history for those individual products.
But an API is not everyone's cup of tea.
Because, Jason...
So we made a hex logo.
And, once you've got the hex logo done, the rest of the package essentially writes itself. So, the retailer package. You install it from GitHub, you load it up into R, and suddenly you have access to the API, but without having to worry about issuing HTTP requests. So the first function, retailer, will return a data frame with name. Whoops, can we go back? Thank you. We go back, and the retailer function will give you a tibble or data frame with a selection of retailers, and you can see there's some familiar names here. And along with the names of the retailers, their website URLs, and their operating currencies. Then if you drill down to a particular retailer, looking at the products that are being sold at any one time, the retailer products function will give you back a table, the names of the products, the brand, the model, the SKU, and the barcode, if that information is available. And then finally, you can drill down even further to individual products and get their price history. And here you have both the normal price as well as the promotion price, if these objects have been on promotion.
Let's get back to the original question. If you want to get screwed on Valentine's Day, buy roses. Here's why. From the middle of January, the price of roses increased repeatedly, so that by the time Valentine's Day rolled around, you were paying 50% more per bunch. That's really getting screwed.
And not in a good way. Here's another example. So this is a large bunch of 100 roses, the Love Supreme bundle. At the beginning of January, these were selling for around 3,000 Rand a bunch. And then that price popped up to just a little bit more than 4,000 Rand, and then somewhat inexplicably plummeted down to less than 2,000 Rand before rebounding all the way up to 5,000 Rand. That's 50 Rand per rose, just before Valentine's Day. Here's another one, a completely different behavior, right? A small vase of pink roses, initially retailing for a little bit less than 300 Rand, pops up to just a little bit less than 500 Rand around the end of January and stays at that level until after Valentine's Day. So, what should you do if you don't want to get screwed on Valentine's Day? Well, the solution here is pretty obvious.
Buy beer. Because the price of beer from the same retailer remains completely unchanged.
So there you have it, folks. Beer for the win. So that was just a fun example of what one can do with this kind of data set. Obviously, there are much more serious and useful applications. If you're interested in getting your hands on some retail data, please get in touch. In the meantime, though, that's the homepage for the project, and that's the repo for the package. Thank you.